But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
He and 9 other plaintiffs, including his own publicists, have unleashed a colossal $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, accusing them of straight-up defamation. And as if that wasn't wild enough, Justin and Blake's whole situation feels like one massive PR chess match. But here's where things take a jaw-dropping turn. Marvel just dropped explosive new evidence in court. Evidence that allegedly exposes a tangled web of lies linked to Blake Lively. For someone who's built a pristine image as a charming, philanthropic Hollywood darling, being dragged into a scandal like this is the last thing anyone expected. Yet, the story has taken on a life of its own. Fans, insiders, and online sleuths are tearing through every rumor, trying to figure out how Marvel, a studio known for its ironclad secrecy, ended up in a position to blow up Lively's credibility with supposedly damning documents. According to whispers flooding the internet, Marvel has been locked in a shadowy legal battle for some time now. Something major went down behind the scenes. Something that allegedly put Lively, or those connected to her, in direct conflict with the studio. And while the exact details remain murky, speculation is running wild that it all ties back to statements or claims Lively may have made. And here's the real bombshell. Marvel has apparently reached a critical point in this case. If the rumors are to be believed, the studio just presented what's being called new receipts in court, potentially devastating evidence that could prove Lively's words weren't just misleading, but outright fabrications. Documents, transcripts, maybe even audio or video recordings. Whatever Marvel has, it's supposedly big enough to shake up the narrative in ways no one saw coming. Marvel's influence is massive, making it all the more shocking that the studio would take the extraordinary step of exposing a high-profile star's alleged deception in a legal showdown. The move has ignited a media frenzy, leaving fans baffled. How could someone like Blake Lively, known for her charm, quick wit, and generosity, get caught up in something this messy? At the same time, hardcore Marvel fans have their own worries. With the studio's blockbuster schedule riding on flawless negotiations and A-list talent, this kind of high-stakes courtroom drama is the last thing they need. And yet, speculation only grows louder as fresh rumors surface daily, despite zero confirmation from Marvel or Lively's camp. Meanwhile, one phrase has taken on a life of its own. Marvel drops new receipts. It's become a battle cry for those convinced that something huge is brewing behind closed doors. Social media is flooded with theories. Some claim to have insider knowledge of the supposed evidence, calling it irrefutable and shocking. But not everyone is buying into the hype. Some voices urge caution, reminding the public that these sensational stories often lose steam once real facts emerge. Still, staying neutral isn't easy when a powerhouse like Marvel, known for keeping its affairs airtight, is suddenly linked to a celebrity whose reputation has been nothing short of spotless. Perhaps the most puzzling part? Why is Lively even in the ring with Marvel? Her career, while diverse, has never been directly tied to the studio's empire. Sure, there was fan speculation about a possible cameo or future Marvel role, but nothing ever actually came to fruition. No known disputes between Blake Lively and Marvel had ever surfaced. Until now. Suddenly, whispers of a shadowy legal battle have erupted, leaving everyone wondering, what exactly did she say that put her at odds with one of the biggest studios in Hollywood? Theories are running wild. Some believe Lively was involved in behind-the-scenes negotiations, not for herself, but on behalf of someone else. Could it have been her husband, Ryan Reynolds? A close friend? Perhaps during a time when Marvel was making critical casting or creative decisions. Others speculate that the controversy stems from philanthropic or contractual claims. Maybe Lively's statements led Marvel to invest in a project that ultimately went nowhere. With no concrete details, the speculation is endless. But what makes this rumor especially gripping is that one word, receipts. In entertainment lingo, receipts mean hard proof. We're talking screenshots, emails, legal documents, evidence so solid it can't be brushed aside. The buzz suggests that Marvel, either out of frustration or legal necessity, laid out these receipts in court, exposing what they believe to be misleading statements from Lively. If this is even partially true, it signals that things behind closed doors broke down so badly that Marvel, a studio known for flawless PR control, felt it had no choice but to bring everything into the open. That's huge. Marvel rarely lets its internal conflicts go public, making the idea of them throwing down in a courtroom nothing short of explosive. And naturally, in an online world obsessed with drama, fans are dissecting every shred of gossip. Some claim the so-called receipts are so damning they could leave Lively's reputation in serious trouble. Others argue this could all be a case of blown out of proportion half-truths. Perhaps Marvel is using the situation to gain leverage in court. Some observers are even floating the idea that this whole situation could be a calculated PR stunt. But let's be real, that theory feels like a stretch. Negative press isn't exactly the kind of publicity Marvel would gamble on, especially when they're known for ruthlessly controlling their brand's image. Yet, here we are, with a wildfire of speculation claiming Marvel has directly exposed alleged personal misrepresentations from Blake Lively, something that completely goes against the studio's usual playbook of keeping internal matters locked down. This contradiction has led some skeptics to question if the whole thing is just a fabricated internet frenzy. Still, the non-stop chatter online suggests something real must have set off these headlines. And what about Lively? Radio silence. She hasn't publicly acknowledged the controversy, and her social media remains business as usual. Family moments, philanthropy, and her signature comedic posts. To her loyal fans, this is proof that the rumors are nonsense. If Marvel were actually coming after her, surely she'd be acting differently. But not everyone's convinced. Others argue that plenty of celebrities keep up a calm front even when dealing with chaos behind the scenes. The debate is heated. Some standing by Lively, calling the claims ridiculous, while others insist that Marvel wouldn't take legal action unless they had something real to back it up. And then there's the Ryan Reynolds factor. His deep ties to Marvel through Deadpool have always made him and Lively seem like a packaged deal in the public eye. So now, people are wondering, could his involvement in the Marvel universe have anything to do with this swirling drama? The connections are impossible to ignore, and with neither side breaking their silence, the mystery only deepens. Does this swirling rumor about Lively's so-called lies have anything to do with Ryan Reynolds? Nobody knows for sure, but plenty of people think the connection is too obvious to ignore. Some speculate that her alleged misstatements involved Fasinelli, either helping or sabotaging key negotiations tied to Reynolds. Others believe she might have made bold claims about Marvel's future projects, unintentionally stepping on the studio's toes. Without hard evidence, these theories remain pure speculation. But that hasn't stopped them from spreading like wildfire, especially among fans who are used to seeing Lively and Reynolds as an inseparable, playful duo, always backing each other up. Yet, strangely enough, no one seems to know exactly what these supposed lies were about. Did Lively claim that Marvel guaranteed her, or someone close to her, a role? Did she attach herself to some philanthropic cause that clashed with the studio's real intentions? Or, and this is where things get really dicey, did she let something slip about an upcoming Marvel project, breaking a confidentiality agreement? The sheer vagueness of the allegations makes them even more intriguing. Everyone's piecing together scraps, but there's still no clear picture of why Marvel would go this far. Every new social media post only fuels more theories. Could Marvel be defending itself against something Lively said? Or are they proving that her public or private statements damage the studio's business? And here's the real kicker. If Marvel really sees Lively as a liability, just how bad could these claims be? A celebrity's words carry weight, sure, but a company as massive as Marvel doesn't just drag someone to court over petty drama. If this rumor holds any weight, it suggests the stakes were so high that a quiet, behind-the-scenes settlement simply wasn't an option. Instead, Marvel supposedly had no choice but to go public with hard evidence, turning this into a full-blown spectacle. As the rumor refuses to die down, fans are glued to their screens, waiting for someone, Marvel or Lively's camp, to finally break the silence. Some believe that if the allegations have any truth to them, an official statement could be just around the corner. Maybe Marvel will confirm the legal fallout, or maybe Lively's team will come out swinging, denying everything. Others think this is just another exaggerated internet frenzy, doomed to fizzle out when the next big piece of gossip takes over. It's the nature of online scandals. Today's controversy is tomorrow's forgotten headline. But when it comes to Marvel, even the flimsiest stories tend to linger, thanks to the sheer size of its global fan base. Skeptics are side-eyeing the whole situation, questioning why Marvel, a studio famous for keeping its mess private, would suddenly go after Lively so publicly, potentially wrecking her reputation. Big studios usually avoid legal battles that could trigger bad press. But what if Lively did say something that threatened Marvel's carefully laid business plans? If the studio felt cornered, maybe they saw no other way out but to put the receipts on the table. That tension, Marvel's usual tight-lipped approach clashing with the over-the-top drama of this situation, is exactly why some believe the whole thing has been blown out of proportion. And then there's another layer of spice. Whispers that certain Marvel insiders felt personally betrayed by Lively. Allegedly, some believe her friendly, supportive public persona hid a completely different agenda behind the scenes. Is there any proof of this? Not a shred. But the idea of a beloved Hollywood star secretly betraying trust, only for Marvel to strike back? That's the kind of drama the internet eats up. It's the kind of scandal that thrives in today's internet culture, where the slightest hint of contradiction between a celebrity's polished public image and rumored private behavior can ignite a wildfire. The idea that there's a hidden side to a seemingly affable star? That's all it takes for a rumor to gain traction and spiral out of control. But not everyone is buying it. Lively's defenders aren't backing down. They point to her long history of philanthropy, positive interactions with co-stars, and a complete lack of messy public feuds. Hardly the profile of someone running an elaborate con. And if these supposed lies were so devastating to Marvel, why hasn't there been a single sign of friction before now? Online, the debate has turned fierce. Some argue that Marvel wouldn't escalate things unless they had a solid case, while others insist Lively is innocent until proven otherwise. With no official statements, fans and gossip sites are desperate for clues, dissecting Lively's recent interviews for any subtle hints of legal trouble. Even Marvel's typically bland corporate updates are being scrutinized for cryptic wording or hidden disclaimers. So far, nothing, which has only fueled another rumor, that this entire matter is locked under a strict legal gag order, preventing both sides from speaking out. If true, it would mean there's definitely something going on behind the scenes. But here's the paradox. If there was a gag order, how did whispers of these so-called receipts even leak in the first place? If Marvel had truly filed damning evidence in court, journalists or insiders would have picked up on real documents, not just vague speculation. In Hollywood, trust is everything, especially when massive budgets and carefully crafted marketing campaigns are on the line. If Lively really misrepresented facts that impacted Marvel's strategic moves, it could cast a long shadow over her future in the industry. Then again, Hollywood loves a comeback, and scandals, no matter how explosive, often fade the moment a bigger controversy takes center stage. And if this rumor turns out to be completely baseless, the internet will likely pivot right back to celebrating Lively's sharp-witted social media presence and philanthropic efforts, as if none of this ever happened. But beyond just Lively, this situation also raises questions about brand synergy. Disney's influence over Marvel in recent years has pushed a very controlled public image, emphasizing polished conduct and seamless coordination across its properties. The idea that Marvel, under Disney's watchful eye, would publicly expose a high-profile star in a legal battle. That's a major shift. Of course, not everyone is convinced this is as scandalous as it sounds. Some speculate that Marvel's so-called new receipts aren't even about Lively's personal honesty, but might involve misunderstandings over creative rights or philanthropic claims. If that's the case, the dramatic framing of this as an expose of lies might be a serious exaggeration. After all, in the world of internet gossip, the line between a blatant lie, a miscommunication, and an assumption gone wrong gets blurred fast. If an actual court case is unfolding, it could be about something far less dramatic than the internet is making it out to be. But in the rumor-obsessed corners of the web, the narrative has already snowballed into a high-stakes showdown. At its core, this saga is a perfect reflection of how modern media operates. A single unverified claim can put years of reputation building at risk if it catches the public's imagination. And on the flip side, Studios with deep pockets and powerful PR teams can shape a narrative however they see fit, whether through silence, strategic leaks, or a perfectly timed public statement. For Blake Lively, beloved for her quick wit, charm, and philanthropic work, any whisper of deception feels completely out of character. And maybe that's exactly why this rumor has exploded. The shock factor alone is enough to keep people talking. On the flip side, Marvel's ironclad control over its brand makes the idea of them publicly dropping receipts in court just as wild. So what's the truth? Is this just another fleeting example of how internet rumors shape celebrity narratives? Or are we witnessing the slow unraveling of a full-blown legal saga? Right now, it's all speculation. No one from Marvel or Lively's camp has stepped forward to confirm or deny anything, leaving fans dissecting every cryptic detail, desperate for a real answer. One thing's for sure, the power of rumor-driven media has never been more obvious. People are obsessed with the idea that behind every flawless celebrity image, there's a hidden truth just waiting to be exposed. And as long as this story lingers, it fuels that curiosity. The fantasy of a Hollywood facade crumbling under irrefutable proof. A courtroom showdown where Marvel itself becomes the unexpected star of a real-world drama. Will this all fade into internet oblivion? Or will official details finally emerge to confirm or crush the speculation? Either way, you know another bombshell headline is always just around the corner. What do you think? Is this all smoke and mirrors, or is Marvel really holding explosive receipts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest Hollywood controversies. See you in the next one.